Fox News, 30th of May 2023, along with Russia, China exacerbates anti-NATO sentiment by supporting ethnic Serbs engaged in combat in Kosovo. China is engaging in a divide-and-conquer strategy in Eastern Europe as part of an all-out conflict with the allied countries. NATO prepares additional peacekeeping personnel as fighting in Kosovo continues. China and Russia backed ethnic Serbs warring in Kosovo on Tuesday after fighting broke out in opposition to local polls, and scores of NATO peacekeeping troops were hurt. Beijing has never recognized Kosovo's 2008 declaration of independence from Serbia, defying its closest ally Moscow, and stated during a news briefing on Tuesday that it supports Serbia's efforts to safeguard its sovereignty and territorial integrity. Although just about 5% of the population of Kosovo are ethnic Serbs, most of them reside in northern Kosovo, where skirmishes between the minority community and NATO and Kosovo police forces broke out after elections last month. As regional tensions rise, Kosovo police and NATO peacekeepers clash with Serb protesters. Kosovo's ethnic Albanian community, which makes up 90% of the total population, won mayoral elections in the north after Kosovo Serbs abstained. After ethnic Albanian mayors took over last week, ethnic Serbs attempted to take over the administration of one of the towns in northern Kosovo, which prompted NATO and Kosovo security troops to intervene. According to a NATO statement released on Tuesday, at least 30 members of the multinational peacekeeping forces have been hurt, including 11 Italian and 19 Hungarian soldiers. As the UN Stability Council requires, more soldiers have been mobilized as a prudent measure to ensure regional stability. However, tension in northern Kosovo had been building for months in the run-up to the elections, and ethnic Serbs had been calling for creating an association for majority Serb municipalities and greater autonomy. However, Pristina, the capital of Kosovo, has categorically rejected this idea, arguing that it would essentially create a Serbian state within Kosovo. Serbia, located directly north of Kosovo, declared it would not tolerate violence against ethnic Serbs and increased its troops' battle preparedness at the border. Serbian troops are mobilized as clashes occur as ethnic Serbs block municipal buildings in northern Kosovo. The US and the EU have urged both parties to de-escalate the situation and stop it from worsening. China, however, seemed to fan the flames on Tuesday when it declared its opposition to the unilateral actions done by the temporary institutions in Pristina and demanded the creation of an association/community of Serb-majority municipalities. According to Mao Ning, a spokeswoman for the Foreign Ministry, "We implore NATO to respect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the relevant countries and genuinely work for regional peace." Following Yugoslavia's collapse in 1992, brutal combat raged in Kosovo for much of the 1990s, resulting in thousands of deaths and millions of displaced people. NATO countries still fear that recent regional unrest could ignite another significant European conflict as Russia's war in Ukraine rages on. Russia and China have long argued that NATO overreached throughout the conflict, especially after an airstrike on Beijing's consulate in Belgrade, Serbia, in 1999 as NATO forces sought to end Serbia's vicious attack on ethnic Albanians in Kosovo. Although Beijing has since used the incident to stoke anti-NATO sentiment, the US has apologized for the incident resulting in 3 Chinese journalists' deaths and blamed faulty intelligence, according to ABC News. Sergei Lavrov, Russia's foreign minister, also took advantage of the recent clashes to criticize NATO's attempts to stop the assault. According to him, a very explosive situation is developing in the middle of Europe, where NATO attacked Yugoslavia in 1999, according to Russian state-run media outlet TASS. The West has begun a road of complete enslavement of everyone who expresses their viewpoint in any way, notwithstanding the frightening circumstances. Rebecca Koffler, a specialist in Russian doctrine and former intelligence officer for the Defense Intelligence Agency, cautioned that Lavrov's remarks were probably more than just timely diplomatic rhetoric and might be a part of a bigger Kremlin plot. She told Fox News Digital that Lavrov's remarks are consistent with Russia's long-term position on the breakup of Yugoslavia, which Moscow attributed to the US and NATO's aggression. Given that Putin has been attempting to undo Kosovo's separation from Serbia for more than 10 years, it is pretty likely that Russian and Serbian intelligence is responsible for the recent violent skirmishes between local Serbs and NATO-led forces. The big explosion in the center of Europe that Lavrov refers to is likely a component of Putin's lateral escalation strategy, a staple of Moscow statecraft, to focus NATO and the United States' attention on a new security threat to Europe and divert attention from Russia's conflict in Ukraine.